You swipe right, nothing happens. You swipe left, nothing happens. Your thumb keeps moving faster than your brain can really process each face, and somewhere underneath that motion, something ancient is screaming. It doesn't have a word for what's happening. It just knows something is wrong. Your brain was not built for this, not the apps, not the endless scroll of faces, not the algorithm deciding who you see next. For most of human history, the number of potential partners a person could realistically choose from was somewhere between 30 and 150. That's it. That's the whole dating pool. Today you can see that many faces before you finish your coffee. So why does it feel so empty? The answer isn't about romance. It's about a mismatch between the world your brain evolved in and the world you're actually living in. And once you see it, you'll never look at a dating app the same way again. Anthropologist Robin Dunbar spent years studying primate social groups and found a striking pattern. The size of a primate's social circle correlates closely with the size of its brain, specifically a region called the neocortex. For humans, that number tends to land around 150 meaningful relationships. Researchers call it Dunbar's number. It's not a hard limit, but it's a strong one. Your brain has a finite amount of social bandwidth, and it evolved to spend that bandwidth carefully. Think about what that means for choosing a partner. In a small group of 50 or so adults, you'd know almost everyone. You'd know who was kind. You'd know who lied. You'd know whose family helped during the hard winter and whose family didn't share when food was scarce. Mate choice wasn't a stranger's face on a screen. It was a decision built on years of accumulated lived information. Now compare that to the apps. You get a photo, maybe a few lines of text, a job title, a height, a joke about tacos. Your brain is being asked to make the same kind of decision it was built to make with decades of social data, except now it has about 2 seconds and a flattering camera angle. This is where things get strange. Psychologist Barry Schwartz studied something called the paradox of choice, and his findings apply almost perfectly here. Schwartz found that when people are given more options, they don't feel more satisfied. They feel more anxious. More options trigger more comparison, more doubt, more of a nagging sense that the right choice is still out there, one swipe away, always just out of reach. The brain treats abundance as a threat to its decision-making confidence, not a gift. Your ancestors never had to manage that anxiety. They didn't choose from 1,000 strangers. They chose from a known world. There's another layer to this, and it has to do with a part of your brain most people have never heard of called the fusiform face area. This region is dedicated almost entirely to recognizing and evaluating faces, and it evolved over millions of years to extract enormous amounts of information from a glance. Health, symmetry, emotional state, even subtle signs of stress hormones in the skin. It's remarkably good at this work, but it was built to evaluate real faces in real time, attached to real context, not a curated grid of filtered photos optimized for a 500 millisecond judgment. When you swipe, you're not using your face-reading machinery the way it was built to be used. You're using it the way a sports car would be used to plow a field. Powerful, but completely wrong for the job. Here's where the twist comes in, and it's the part most people miss entirely. Dating apps didn't break your brain's mating instincts. They hijacked a completely different system, the one built for food. Psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered something profound while studying pigeons. Behaviors that are rewarded unpredictably get repeated far more compulsively than behaviors rewarded every single time. He called it variable ratio reinforcement. A pigeon pecking a lever for a treat that comes randomly will peck that lever far more obsessively than one that gets a treat every single peck. It's the same mechanism behind slot machines. The unpredictability isn't a flaw, it's the engine. Every swipe is a lever. Every match is a treat that comes at random intervals. Your brain doesn't evolve fast enough to distinguish a notification chime from a genuine social bond. Dopamine fires the same way whether the reward is a good conversation or just the possibility of one. This means the apps aren't failing to deliver romance. In a strange way, they're succeeding wildly at something else, keeping your ancient reward circuitry engaged just long enough that romance becomes almost beside the point. So what does this mean for you scrolling through faces on a Tuesday night? It means the loneliness you feel isn't a personal failure. It's not that you're bad at dating or that something is wrong with you specifically.